Welcome, everyone, to our podcast. This is the first episode of our show, Help, We're Stuck in a Box, with your hosts, Michael Ney and Alexander Roman.
Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it may be for you.
Do you want to introduce yourself to the lovely people at home?
Hi, I'm Alexander, Ali, Alex, whichever one you want to choose. I don't really care. I'm a college art student right now, focusing on my illustration major here. Currently just trying to make it through life one day at a time and just draw what I want.
I'm Michael Ney, computer science major. Community college right now, just kind of focusing on fucking whatever.
Computer science major, he says,
Yeah.
as we struggled to figure out OBS for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not the simplest thing for my brain to handle.
There's not a lot of things that your brain can handle well, let's be real.
That's true. I've slowed down a lot over recent years.
Yeah, in your ripe old fucking age.
Yeah, ripe old age of 19.
Look out.
Slowing down.
Old man Ney coming around the corner on his fucking buggy at 19.
Oh my god, I'm a fucking Looney Tunes character at that point.
In this corner, weighing in at a total of 90 pounds, old man Ney, 19 years old.
Okay, you're like 30 pounds off, asshole.
Oh, wow. All that Taco Bell and you still
Dude,
weigh so light.
Yeah, that's the sad part. I looked at my fucking license, that I got when I turned 18.
I would hope so.
Yeah, well, fuck off.
Listen, all right? I didn't get my license. Well, you're supposed to get your fucking license at 18. That's
You're supposed to get your license at 16.
According to fucking who? You get your permit at 16 and get your license at 18.
Is that how it is in Florida?
Well, okay, so here's the deal, right? You're going to start getting your permit at 16. From what I remember, you can get your permit at fucking 16, right? And after that happens, you have to either own your permit for a year, or you have to turn 18. God, pardon me, I'm so full of gas. Whichever comes first, and then you can get your license.
No, that's not how it works in most of the country.
Well, listen, you have to remember, Florida's the Australia of this country.
That
Nothing
is
fucking
true.
matters here.
That is true, but that's weird because in Missouri, you get your permit at 15 and you don't even have to have it for a fucking year. You can have it for like a week and then go get your test. But you can only get your test, you have to wait a year. You have to wait till you're 16 to take your driver's test, and then you get your license. You get your full license, like your ID license, at 18, or you get your full license at 18, and then you get your ID license at 21. The one that allows you to have, like when they ask for ID bars and everything, that's what you get.
I think that's actually a pretty good jumping off point. I want to know your opinion. Like, should they raise up the ages of driving or whatever else, so that way we don't have these 15, 16, 17-year-olds out there on the road? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think so, because the longer that you wait, I feel like the more anxious you'll get about driving. Because think about it, then, if they do raise it to 21, like some people are saying.
Well, I'm not saying like 21. Maybe
that was the initial thought. But I mean, like, the whole thing is, even if it's at 18, I waited till I get my license personally until I was 18. I didn't really have a drive to go do it, ironically. It just wasn't in my nature, I guess. So when I did get my license, I waited months, like 6 months or so, until I even got on the highway.
I haven't even been on the highway myself. The most I've ever driven was just back roads in my small little town.
Actually, longer than that. It was about 8 months.
Shit's scary, yo.
It depends. If you let people, get to you and feed you their thoughts on the highway, it is a lot scarier than it seems. But if you just think about it as driving but faster, it's super simple.
Just drive faster, idiot.
I mean, that's all it is. It's just driving but faster. All the same rules of the road apply.
Yeah.
Think about it. You still have to use your blinkers to turn lanes. You still have to watch out for cars that are in the next lane trying to get over. You let people pass you on the highway as you do like on normal streets. It's just driving but faster. I get that the risk is more, but you kind of just have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I mean, what I've already learned too is that driving, like, you're not just driving yourself, you're also driving other people's cars, which I've already found to be like hella true.
driving other people's cars is kind of nerve-wracking. Like, whew, it is. So I drive, as you know, but the people at home don't know, a 99 Mercury Grand Marquis, and that car,
whip. Hell yeah.
it is a boat of a vehicle. Like, I'm sure someone else could hit my car and their car would take more damage. I can almost goddamn guarantee that.
It's like having a Nokia phone. When you drop that, you're damaging the concrete, not your phone.
Yeah, it's insane. The gas mileage isn't bad, but that car is very low to the ground, very heavy as well, so the wind doesn't affect it much, like at all. We'll have 20, 30 mile per hour winds sometimes, and car doesn't fucking car doesn't sway. The car doesn't sway. But at one point, I was driving my sister's Isuzu rodeo, a Jeep-looking car, and this was the worst experience. I was trying to back out of a crowded parking lot and drive her car home because she went with my mom to the doctor's office or some shit.
Right.
So here I am driving on roads that only go 25, but there's so much wind, and I wasn't used to that type of car that I'm like both hands death gripped on the steering wheel, and then because rodeos sit up higher off the ground, and so I felt like I was in a fucking truck. Like I could peer into the back seat of all the smaller cars in front of me, and I was like, I feel like a god.
I see what you got going on in your back seats out there,
I know. I was like, do I need to clean anything on my back seat so people aren't looking in? What's going on?
Tell us what's in your back seat. What do you have back there? Take a peek. See what you got.
I have a blinder, like the sun blinds, so my car doesn't get as hot, but I don't use them, so my car gets fucking blistering. I'm just really lazy, and I feel like it's not worth my time to put it up, so I just kind of deal with it. My car cools down in like 5 minutes, so it's not too bad. I've got a windshield wiper, a really small one. It's like less than a foot long. Actually, no, it might be exactly a foot long. So it's not the most helpful that it could be, but it is still working, and I appreciate it. And then I've got a poster, and I don't remember what it says. It was from we did this little parade thing for high school at the end of the year, because COVID happened, right. And so they had a parade for all these fucking seniors and everything. Meanwhile, was this before COVID? Now that I think about it,
if you're having a parade instead before COVID, then your school is just sad, bro.
It might have been before COVID because nobody was wearing masks. And Missouri is you wear a mask everywhere you go. If you are not wearing a mask, you really get a death glare by most people.
Oh, I do it too. Whenever I'm at the grocery store, I stare people down.
It's just sometimes I see a store like Target, and I'm like, they require masks to come in. And then I see people all around without masks. I go, who's fucking stopping them?
You see, okay, so here's the deal. So having words retail, I can actually chime in on this portion. So even though we will tell you, hey, when you come in the store, please wear a mask, we do require it. Although realistically, we can kind of, we can kick you out if you're not wearing one and you refuse to do it.
Right.
There's a lot of people that, for context, for whatever reason, corporate was just hey, listen, if the person has a legitimate reason, i.e. a whole doctor's reason, they can medically, basically not have to wear one and they'll be fine, whatever else, yada yada. But then that leads to a rise of people trying to dupe us at the doorway or whatever and be like, oh, I have a medical condition, and we kind of can't fucking stop them because who are we to call them out on their shit, because we'll get in trouble if we try to do that. Even though we all know pretty damn well that nothing's wrong with them and they just don't want to wear one.
Right.
But God, that was annoying.
Well, our lobby, okay. People at home, I work at a Taco Bell, and if Taco Bell would love to sponsor us, I'll gladly take it. But for now, I'm gonna shit on it real quick. I might be burning my bridge with Taco Bell as we speak.
You'll be fired tomorrow.
Yeah, I get in. They're like, "So we found your podcast.
I haven't even
Even though it's not
uploaded it yet.
published yet, we found your podcast, and fuck you. Here's the double bird, and you're fired."
And you're fired.
But Taco Bell, we're about to open our lobby, and my area coach was like, "All right, we're opening up on this day," which just happened to be fucking 2 days ago. Or yesterday. It was 2 days ago, I think. Right?
Right.
I get in tonight, and someone unlocks the door and lets me in. I go, "Isn't our lobby supposed to be open?" She goes, "Nope."
Nah.
She was like, I'm not gonna say his name, but our area coach, which is like our general manager's boss, he said that we're not opening up lobby until every employee that works there is cross-trained, meaning all food workers will learn how to take orders, cash out cars, and hand out orders.
You know what that means,
and vice
right?
versa.
All they're really doing is just try to use you for labor. So that way you can do more work, but they don't have to pay you any more than they already do, which is stupid.
Exactly. And so some of my coworkers were saying, "Well, I'm not being cross-trained unless I get a pay raise," because that's what I was told. And keep in mind, it's already fishy enough that I have several coworkers that are being paid $10, $10.50, when every new hire is being hired at $12 or $12.50 per hour.
Wow, maybe I should go work at
So coworkers that are being paid less than the new hires have been there longer and are more reliable, but they're being paid less.
What on earth, dude?
But yeah, our lobby's about to open. Nobody knows what's going on. No one knows if we are scanning temperatures at the door or not, if we are requiring masks to be inside or not, because we've already had, and I will state this, from the shifts that I've been there since COVID started, about 20 people walk in to our lobby while our dining room is closed, and we're drive-through only.
Can't
now,
you just lock the door?
That's what we do. But new hires forget that we need to lock the door, and we'll just walk out the front door, unlock it, and leave, and won't tell anyone. So then all of a sudden a customer walks in, and I'm thinking, all right, this is on the employee's fault. I get it. But there's 2 goddamn big orange signs on the doors that say lobby is closed, drive-through only, in like big black bold print.
See,
so
here's the thing that I've learned, though.
Fucking read.
That's the exact point I was going to make, is that people do not read. And that is just the truth of it. Like, I've learned that in a horrible, horrible way working retail, because people do not read coupons or the closed cash that we handed out or whatever. I worked at Kohl's, by the way. And people just did not read at all.
Humble
and it was so annoying. Oh, no, it's not even a humble brag.
I worked at Kohl's, by the way. You would know what that is.
I'm adding context, okay? Listen, my coworkers are the best part of that job. That's it.
I feel you there. I would take a bullet for most of the friends that I've made at Taco Bell, which sounds very exaggerated, but I truly do appreciate all of them being there, because I would not be at that job for as long as I've been there, which is almost 2 years now, had it not been for my coworkers.
I mean, that's just really what kind of keeps you, is you make friends, things go well between you and those folks, and you're just like, whatever, you guys are cool, I'll stay, why not?
Well, I told you about one of my best buddies there, Nito. He's such the kindest of guys. He built me this PC and everything like that. He's, how Steam has wish lists?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just looked at my wish list and just purchased me a game and just was like, "Hey, have fun." Like the sweetest of guys.
Man, that's pretty rad.
But he has the shittiest of luck at Taco Bell.
Yikes.
Since he's so good at his job and is so fast at doing things, people will take 20 to 40 minutes to take out trash. Nito gets it done quicker than that, So one of our morning managers will have Nito do like 6 of the things that she could be doing to help him out.
See,
and I feel so bad for him because I'm like, this isn't.
That's what they get you, man. You prove yourself to be a good worker, and all of a sudden they take advantage of you.
Yeah, it's the shittiest thing. And it's just fast food. I mean, it's not just fast food. It's any job. They see how good you are doing one thing, and they're like, okay, you can do it forever now.
True.
Like, you offer to do it once, and you'll do it forever.
That's how I got started doing cashier.
And so, yeah, back to my point. I'm fine with doing window and taking cash, except, and I'm gonna spit this story real quick. One lady paid for her $8 order, almost $9 in coins and a $1 bill. $1 bill, and the rest was coins.
So, been there before.
Knowing that I just watched her count out the entire amount out of petty change that she physically told me was laundry change, meaning that she just wanted to get rid of her change instead of going to a bank and then depositing it and just getting the extra shit put into her bank account.
Just go to one of those stupid like coin machines that are like everywhere.
Yeah. Well, knowing that I just watched this poor lady count out all this money, I had to recount it because that's part of the job. Yeah. So I'm sitting here going, 1, 125, 150, 175, 2, 225, 250, 275. But the thing is, my brain doesn't work like that all the time. And so sometimes I'll be counting and then I'll just stop counting and I'll just be putting the coins in my hand.
All of a sudden, you're just holding coins.
I got probably $5 through and I go, fuck, I'm not counting.
Well,
so I do it again.
That's when you just go by 4s. Just count out 4 and they're like 1.
Well, that's 2. Why I try doing. But the thing is, I can't count like that. For some reason, my brain does not like counting numbers, but I can if you give me an equation, I can solve it, you know?
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're not a big cashier person. That's right.
I'm not. I told you, the second that I knew I was going to be put in window, I was so nervous that I was going to hand people the wrong amount of money. So the next guy that comes through was like, he gave me, his order was like $3.60 or some shit, and he gave me $4.60. Like, he was trying to give me exact change. And so I counted out the $4 bills, you know? And the change, and so then I gave him his change of $1 and like 10 cents or some shit, and he was like, I think you're mistaken, I think I only handed you like blah blah blah. And I was like, no, you actually had an extra $1 bill in there. And then I'm thinking, did he actually have an extra $1 bill in there, or am I stupid and counting the wrong thing?
Doesn't the machine tell you like what change you owe back?
That's the thing. You have to put in the right amount first.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I figured you would like have that down to a science by now.
Well, right, but if I put in the wrong amount and put an extra $1 in there, his change back is whatever cents plus $1.
Yeah, fair.
So, well, in all fairness, that probably just kind of equaled out. I'm probably overthinking it.
But even still, like, hopefully that doesn't like throw off your count at the end of the day or whatever.
It's $1. They have, I know for a fact, a jar back there that's filled up by like $100 or some shit like that of money that they can use to fix drawers that are over or under by a little bit. Like, if it's just an actual mistake, they will fix it themselves.
Right.
Plus, what's $2 going to hurt Taco Bell?
True. See, they used to be on our ass about our drawers being short or whatever else. And a lot of the time, it wasn't even our fault. It was managers stealing money from us, from out of our drawers, and just letting the employees hit the fall.
Ooh, yes. Okay, that is one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about now that you bring that up.
Me too. Because I've got a good story.
Ooh, so I've actually got 2 managers that I've known. One blatantly was stealing money, and one of my coworkers caught her because my manager was like, oh, hey, your drawer is short this much money. And my coworker was like, no, it's not. It is not. I made sure that it's not. I'm the one that counted it down. She's like, can you count it down again? And after she counted it down again, then my manager was like, oh, it must have been an error. It's not short that money. But she was like nervous and panicked about it. But my old general manager was stealing money from employees. She was actually going into their accounts and paying them less than what I don't know if the money was going to her, but she was shortening the hours of her employees. So let's say I worked a 10-hour shift. She could go in there and change it so it looks like I only worked a 6-hour shift.
Jesus.
And one of my old friends that used to work there before I started working at Taco Bell was like, hey, this is short like $100. Like my paycheck's short $100. I know I worked these hours. I know how the taxes work. Where's my money?
Oh yeah.
And my old GM was doing it to everybody there.
I'd have been pissed, honestly.
Yeah, it was not the best of situations. What were you gonna say about it though?
Oh my god. Okay, so back when I used to work at Burger King or whatever, right? I worked there for about 9 months. And I worked there for about 5 months in the beginning. I took a break for a little bit just to focus on finals and school and shit, right? And then once school was over, I went back because they were the first place that would take me back immediately. And
right.
We had like a whole new like manager staff and whatever else because that place went through so many manager changes because everybody hated it there. Our turnaround rate was like maybe 2 weeks, literally.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, it was the worst place around town.
That's fast.
Yeah, everybody hated it. I don't know how I managed to stay there for so long, but all of a sudden, my drawer just started coming up short, just here and there. I feel like maybe once a week, maybe. And like a lot of the time, it was just honest mistakes, of my own fault and just like weird transactions and shit. But one day, I'm cleaning up. I'm about to leave or whatever else. I have all my stuff in my hand. I got my backpack on.
Right.
My manager calls me over and she's like, "Hey, your drawer's short like $20." And me having, like replaying the transactions from all day in my head, I'm like, that's fucking impossible. There's no way in hell, right? And so, they make a whole like tiff about it. She's like, whatever, just go home. We'll figure this out. We'll look at the camera footage, whatever else. And it turns out later that manager was stealing money out of drawers and stole that 20 from out of my drawer and just tried to be like, hey, you're fucking short, even though I wasn't. So it turns out she gets fired, or I think she gets transferred to like a different location, but she's much more like watched now,
Right.
So don't get me wrong, she was actually a good manager, though. She knew her shit and she knew what she was doing, but she was just stealing. But I was like, yeah, there's no way in hell. Like, no, that's impossible. I know I'm not short that much.
It's crazy how some of the best managers can be really, really shitty people.
True.
But anyway,
it's one of my first managers back from Burger King hooked up with the 17-year-old chick that worked at our store.
Oh, that's
he was like 23.
That's a heavy load of fucking.
But when she became legal, they got together. They're married. They've got a kid now. They seem happy. I mean, kudos. But at the time, I'm like, this is a little weird. Sure. This was the same manager that I caught rolling blunts in the back office, by the way.
Oh, fucking manager seems cool as fuck for rolling blunts in the office, but not cool for fucking dating underage girls.
Well, I mean, listen, he would literally just he would sell drugs out of the parking lot for money.
To be honest, if I saw my manager doing that, I'd be like, I'm not fucking with you. Like, I think that's badass, but I don't want to get fucking arrested or killed.
He offered me a shot of Fireball once.
Did you take it?
No, I don't drink.
Yeah, for podcast purposes and legal purposes, no.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. No, I didn't though. We're on headset together or whatever else, and he's very funny. Like he's always cracking jokes and shit. He's very laid back as a manager. Like he made sure we were doing our jobs, but he was also like, "Look, I fucking get it. This place sucks ass. Like I understand, And I just one day while we're slow, I just watch him go out to his car. He opens the door, pulls out a fucking those big jugs that that fucking maple syrup comes in sometimes, the big like plastic ones or whatever that look like old fucking like alcohol jugs from yeah. He literally pulls out one of those, a Fireball, and he turns on the radio. He's like, "Hey, you want a shot?" And I'm like, "No, I don't drink.
He's
thanks."
Just rocking out.
Yeah, he was just vibing. Just hard vibing.
It's good that we're no longer affiliated with the Burger King brand, though.
Speaking of Burger King, right?
I don't want Burger King. You can hold back your, sponsorship. We don't want it. We don't want it.
Yeah.
Burger King, for people that do not know, had a very, very informative tweet about what their idea of the workplace should be.
and what their idea of marketing was as well.
And I quote, "Women belong in the kitchen."
And this is one tweet. That's one singular tweet. That is one sentence, one singular tweet.
That's all they said. That's all they said at the time being, until people were like, Burger King, what the actual fuck? You know? My whole thing is, someone on their PR staff, their Twitter staff, had to think, you know what? This is good. People are going to come in, they're going to buy a Whopper, they're going to enjoy their meal, they're going to have a nice family. We're going to get business. Send it out. Put it out to the press. But no.
A whole team. TEAM team of people.
That's how you spell team, guys.
Had to look at that and be like, yeah, that's a good idea. This is a banger tweet. If I can send it out.
Do you think Mr. Burger King, Mr. King himself was Mr. like, King I do not approve of this message.
Mr.
Please.
Burger.
Yeah. Burger King, can I call you King?
Can I call you King?
Did you approve of this message? Did you not?
Just to add context, immediately after that tweet, they put it in a thread. They were like, only if they want to, of course. And they blabbered off some statistic about like female chefs, which is totally fine. I understand that point. Like, yes, put more like women like chefs in the fucking workplace. But that's not the way to go about it, Chief.
The only reason they tweeted that out is because people were like, did you really think this tweet was a good idea? Like, do you really think this was a good idea? And Burger King, in a defensive state, not even being proactive about it and putting it in their original tweet, said, do we think offering scholarships to women in our workplace and trying to increase the women in our workplace is a good idea? Absolutely. So their original tweet was sexist. And then their defensive tweet was, fuck you, you're an idiot. Go suck your own ass for all I care.
Just like, yeah, whatever, you're wrong. We're in the right here. I'm the Burger King. I'm the one who burgers.
I'm the Burger King. I'm the one who's sexist.
I'm the one who's sexist. And even like KFC in the replies, like KFC, the whole brand, was just like, yeah, this was not a good idea. Like, you should delete this.
I was really waiting for Wendy's to hop on the bandwagon as well and be like, ooh. This did not age well. Like, this did not
age well. Unlike our fresh, never frozen beef patties. Wendy's, what's good? What's up?
Wendy's. If you have any scholarships available, not scholarships, sponsorships available.
I'll take a scholarship.
I'll take a scholarship as well at this point. Offer them. We're available. We'll endorse your brand. I like Wendy's.
I also like Wendy's.
Baconator, son of a Baconator. Ooh, yes, I get the shits afterwards, but is it not delicious?
So that tweet and that thread goes out, right? Hours later, they finally realize their mistake. And keep in mind, this is not just Burger King, and this might be why they thought this tweet was okay. This is from the official Burger King UK account.
Oh, yeah.
So the British are on some other shit. They said, we hear you. We got our initial tweet wrong and we're sorry. Yeah, I hope so. Our aim was to draw attention to the fact that only 20% of professional chefs in UK kitchens are women and help change that by awarding culinary scholarships. Fine. Cool. We will do better next time. God, I hope so. And they responded to that tweet with, we decided to delete the original tweet after our apology. So
I got a screenshot, by the way.
So they deleted it. I did too. It was brought to our attention that there were abusive comments in the thread, and we don't want to leave the space open for that. So here's the thing. They're not apologizing for the initial tweet.
They're apologizing that they got caught putting out a sexist tweet. What if the last line of their apology tweet, apology being in quotes, people, was just like, but yeah, women belong in the kitchen, they fucking suck. Like, what if that was the last of it?
Jesus Christ, Burger King, what the fuck?
They just can't get their shit together.
Yeah.
Like, what if... Yeah,
imagine putting out a shitty tweet and then apologizing for other people's shit in your fucking comments.
I saw another post, and keep in mind, everyone, this was fake. These were all like edited shit. It was just like other corporations fucking like saying their own thing. Like one was like, "Oh, black people are just hideous," or some shit like that. And that's McDonald's. Wendy's was like,
Pride Month one. Yeah.
Wendy's was like, wow, gay people can really go suck a dick. And I was just like, okay.
But only if they want to, of course. Did you know?
Yeah, if only if they want to. And I was just like, damn, people hopped on that shit fast. I was like, there was no time for Burger King to really catch themselves, besides if they just fucking didn't tweet that out in the first place.
It's one of my favorite memes is the laser crab or whatever, where it's always like silence blank or whatever. I saw like hundreds of those silence brand.
And keep in mind, hours, like I'm talking like 2 hours after I saw that tweet, right? After you told me about it.
Right.
I'm scrolling through Instagram and something pops up about Mr. Papa John himself. Former CEO Papa John.
Can I call you Papa?
Can I call you Papa? Papa John's, we also don't want your sponsorships. We do not want to tie ourselves with that man.
The record
that goes with Subway too. Subway, you can keep Jared to yourself.
I don't know. Well, Jared's been out from Subway. I feel like Subway's changed a lot.
Subway, you can sponsor Alex, but keep me out of the equation. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that kid touching money.
Real quick. They've got Charlie Puth now. Everything's fine.
Yeah, that's weird, right? They got Charlie Puth.
I mean, the guy makes jingles and shit. Have you seen this TikTok? It's actually kind of good.
That's true. But 2 hours after I saw the Burger King thing, and I was like, wow, this day is off to a great start, because it was like fucking 10 a.m. I had just, like, I was about to start my...
The world's gone to shit.
I was about to start my fucking shift. Well, scrolling through Instagram, I see something about Papa John himself, and I decided to look it up, give it a little bit more research, because I was like, I don't think this is true, you know? So, people that don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know about this, because it was all over the fucking masses. Former CEO, Papa John himself, face of the company, over a conference call, said the N-word with the hard R. Papa John's white. Just want to throw that out there. Very white, you know.
Horribly white.
Throw that out there. And then the company was like, we don't want this anymore. You guys can have him. We don't want him. Fucking, he's out. He's out. We don't want him. They released all of this shit. They released the conference call and everything.
So he
they all had it on record.
And then, like, I think a few weeks later, delivers the greatest interview I have ever seen in my entire life.
He's trying, over the past 20 months, he has been trying to remove the N-word from his vocabulary.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, and the precursor interview where he talks about the reckoning and how he's eaten 40 pizzas in the last 30 days and they're not up to Papa John's standards. Sitting there just greasy, just covered in sweat.
I was going to say, did you see how sweaty? Did you see how sweaty he was in that interview?
He was so sweaty.
It was like Papa John stepped into his own kitchen.
My guy went on a fucking bender, consumed so much fucking pizza. I guarantee you, it probably had one before the interview and then just went in and just did it.
Have you ever seen Spaceballs?
Of course I've seen Spaceballs.
Yeah, he was actually like Pizza the Hut.
Yeah, exactly.
He was starting to like drip with fucking pepperonis and cheese oozing out of every hole and orifice on his body. Papa John starts to erupt and rise to the heavens as pizza starts taking him away.
Elon Musk is there.
Pizza Hut comes in and says, "You can't out Pizza the Hut, John." And bam, Papa John explodes with pepperoni, sausage, and cheese just going everywhere. But yeah, I didn't think it was that hard. I don't think it should be that hard for someone to just, I don't know, not say the N-word.
It's really that simple. You could just, I don't know, not say it.
I mean, it's just a word. It's like, it'd be different if it was an addiction, but I don't think there's an addiction to saying words. I could be wrong. But words like that, usually that have a very bad connotation and will definitely get you hated by most people.
Exactly.
Should be easy to get rid of. You know,
look at the fuck. Like, it reminds me of the fucking the John Mulaney bit where he was told he couldn't put the word midget on TV, and they were like, midget's as bad as the N-word, and he's like, first of all, no, because if we're saying one of them and we're not saying the other one, that is the worst word.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same.
It's not the same.
Smaller people, I will take that. You know, small people in a big world.
Dude, you remember Little
That's a
People
good
Big
show.
World?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Little
Dude, the
People Big
original
World.
seasons were so
Ooh.
good. We watched that shit religiously.
But yeah, Papa John said he's trying to clear his name and get rid of any negative connotation that people have about him. Kind of hard to do, Papa, when you say the N-word over a conference call when talking about KFC.
True. Quick, pull up his tweets from 2004.
Two very racist things back to back, Papa. It ain't looking good for you.
You're walking on fucking thin ice there. You're walking.
Don't rock the boat, Papa.
Thin fucking ice.
He is quite a man for the ages.
What a man, honestly.
And when I say that, I mean a man to make fun of course.
What a man. A real man's man. Jesus, fucking Papa John himself. Jesus.
So I didn't know. Did you know James Franco and Dave Franco had a third brother?
Yeah, I think I knew about that. Like, no one ever knows about it, but I think I knew about that.
Yeah, no one ever fucking knows about him.
Well, yeah.
But
did you know that there's a third property brother?
Is there really?
Yes, they have a third brother. I don't remember his name.
No one ever
fucking talks about him. There is no. I don't think I've ever seen him on the show myself.
Did they just? They were like, two's good, but I feel like 3 of the property brothers might be too much.
Yep. Yeah. His name is J.D. Scott, and if you look up pictures of him, he's kind of like emo. He's a very like emo kind of aesthetic. But yeah, there's a third property brother that no one knows about.
Well, like the most famous, Thomas Andrew Franco, right? Related to both James and Dave Franco. If you look up a picture of this man, he looks like Gordon Lewitt.
Oh, you mean just
the guy that's in like, yeah, Gordon Levitt, the one that's in 50-50 with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he was also in the one about the hiker. I forgot the name of the
Yes, movie. Yeah. So I was like, it's kind of strange how much he looks like him, but I was looking in because I was watching Kill Count with James A. Janice.
Yes, go watch that, by the way.
And they very, very amazing YouTube channel. Props to James A. If he ever wants to introduce us on his podcast,
oh my
James,
God,
we're
James,
here for you.
Please,
we're
come
here
on
for
our
you,
podcast.
baby.
I would
Please.
love to talk horror movies.
It would be. I honestly feel like that would be my crowning moment as a person, is if I got James A. Janice to be on a podcast. I've been watching his shit religiously for fucking years now. And just been like, come on, let this movie be on the kill count. Let this movie be on the kill count.
I know, you don't even need to watch movies anymore. Just go watch that.
Well, I learned from Dead Meat that Mr. Tom Franco himself started in a little-known horror movie called Basket Case 2. Basically, the Basket Case franchise, movie franchise that is 2 brothers that were conjoined at the side at birth. One of them not being developed like in the slightest, and so doctors kind of amputate the second brother, Belial, off of the original brother.
Oh my God, it's that. Yeah, Belial.
Yeah, but they keep him in a basket, and he's a very murderous little meatball. He's just a looking guy. Glob. He looks like a testicle. Like he really.
He's just a meat glob.
He's a testicle. We can call him a ball sack.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Let's be real here.
He's a ball sack with arms. But yeah, Tom Franco stars in that movie. Like, someone who should be famous because of his siblings stars in a little-known movie where they really just had fun with the movies. You know, the movies were never supposed to be the best or well-made. They tried their best to make them, but the director and the producers were like, we're just having fun here.
Yeah, true. You know? I love that in movies, and everyone's just having fun, and they're not like they're not taking themselves too super seriously. Because that's when it just gets boring and like awful. But going back to like weird siblings and like family members and whatever else, that's what happened with Elizabeth Olsen here recently.
Really?
Yeah, because people did not find out until now that she was related to Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you should have put two and two together, but okay, sure.
Isn't their last name like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen? Like it's hyphenated?
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like that should be the biggest fucking reminder.
Yeah, because it's the Olsen sisters, and people are just like, oh wait, Elizabeth Olsen is related to them. It's just like, yeah, no shit.
Oh my god. I wanted to talk about the that famous actors shit, because famous actors being put in movies just simply to be killed is an interesting topic. You're paying for the right to kill them on screen.
True.
Which, so, Alien Covenant.
Have you seen
right?
the first Sharknado movie by any chance?
I've seen all of the Sharknado movies. Are you joking? I love the first like 3. By 4, I was like, but then Sharknado 8 came around, and I was like, I really gotta watch it.
But like near the end of the first movie, I don't remember his name. He's on Shark Tank. The guy who made the FUBU like clothing fashion line or whatever. He gets eaten by a shark in that movie.
Well, they also had like Al Roker and everything like that.
Al Roker.
They had so many famous people in those movies just to fucking kill them.
By the way, I was like, love Al Roker.
They're having fun with what they're doing. They're just.
They knew it was batshit insane, so they're
well.
Just like, fuck it,
I mean, I think by the 3rd movie they had a nuclear explosion going off in a Sharknado.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, let's toss some
Nuclear Sharknado. Oh my god! I was like, you're getting a little ridiculous now. Okay. I thought it was funny, but then the next movie they started just ramping it up, and I was like, oh my god! I thought to be honest, I thought the first movie was kind of perfect. I thought it was like the bad acting plus the bad script made me laugh so much that the premise of there being an actual tornado filled with sharks, I was just like, okay, you can't make this into a serious horror movie. You can't make this into a serious thriller.
Oh, but they did. They somehow tried to turn it around.
They really tried. Like at one point,
doesn't like Sharknado 3 have like a B plot of like some retired baseball player who like wanted to hit a home run for his dad or some shit?
Yeah, he hits a shark. He hits a home run with a shark.
He hits a home run with a shark.
For anyone listening to this, please go watch. I'm being dead serious. All of the Sharknado movies, which I think there's 9 of them now.
There's no way there's that many. I would say watch the original trilogy that came out on Sci-Fi. I would say that's your best bet for really enjoying them.
No. Watch all of them, because as they go downhill, it becomes dumber and dumber. There's 6 of them.
Holy shit, there's 6?
I told you, there was a lot. I thought they were on their way to making 8 of them, which I think they still are, because the last one only came out 3 years ago. There's Sharknado, Sharknado 2, the second one, which I would like to point out,
that's
I'm not even
fucking funny name.
I'm not even joking. The first 3 Sharknados, if you look, have the exact same tornado, exact same sharks in the exact same position.
It's the same fucking PNG
in their picture. They just added a little bit more for each of the ones and took out some of the background stuff.
They just had
Sharknado subtitle for the first movie. Enough said. They were like, "Fuck it, you can't top us, bitch."
Sharknado
Enough said.
The second one, Shark Happens.
Yeah. Do we need to explain? Sharknado 1. Yeah, enough said. You don't need to talk about it. Then Sharknado 3. Oh hell no. Sharknado 4. The Fourth Awakens. It was supposed to be like a Star Wars movie. That's when I got a little bit ridiculous. Sharknado 5. Global Sharkening or some shit. And then Sharknado, the last Sharknado, It's About Time. I'm pretty sure the last one is like a time travel one. Now, interesting enough, if you want to watch sci-fi movies, because they're all pretty bad, but I love them all.
The movie had a budget of $1 million.
But look how much they did with that $1 million. Look how many famous people they got to kill on screen for $1 million.
What
Now,
studio took a look at this and was like, yeah, we'll give you a solid milli?
I hated the fact that just about every little thing was CGI in the movie. I would have loved if they had any practical effects.
I mean,
Like, all the blood was CGI, all the kills were CGI, everything. If they had any practical effects, it would have made the movie even better, in my opinion. But then, if you want to look at sci-fi movies, you also have to take a look at Big Ass Spider, which is about a big ass spider.
Yeah, fucking wonder. Yeah.
yeah. I have like small arachnophobia, and I fucking hate it. I'm getting better with it, but watching that as a child did not make it any better. There's also Lavalantua and Lavalantua 2.
I already hate that.
Which is about a lava tarantula. Like, they're all bad, dude.
See,
like, have you seen Abe Lincoln versus Zombies?
I don't want to now.
It's so bad. It's so funny though.
See, I have a passion for like really shitty shark movies, and I've seen a bunch of them.
Like the third Jaws 3D.
Oh my god, I was actually just about to bring up Jaws because in Sharknado they even have like the B plot of like the sharks being like psychically connected to the mom of the family or some shit.
Yeah. Okay. Every shark knew exactly where these people were. The Sharknadoes followed these people. Like, do you know? I think it's in the fourth movie or the third movie. They go to the White House.
What the fuck?
And they pull out, I think it's either gold dual-wielding pistols, shotguns, or SMGs. It was one of the three. I'm pretty sure it's SMGs. And he's doing that, like, leg, like the knee slide across the fucking floor, shooting at all the sharks that are coming crashing down through the White House ceiling.
You have to have at least one.
Saving the president. If your bad movie isn't about saving the president in the White House, is it really a bad movie?
True, exactly. You have to save the president at least once.
Yeah. As the movie series grows, you go in and you do the White House on the third movie. It's just like, it's just a franchise classic.
The next
it's like in a horror movie, there's always a jump scare.
President.
Oh, yeah. So I've not seen Zombieland 2 Double Tap yet. I've been meaning to. I think it's on Netflix, so I'm going to watch it soon. I just not been in a Netflix craze right now.
Yeah, they haven't had a good share recently.
It was kind of interesting to see the first one, but I'm really hoping that series. I'm really hoping that series kind of grows and keeps going and gets more and more ridiculous because the practical effects are good, the CGI is decent.
Oh, I not the best. The first Zombieland. That's a classic.
But I love Bill Murray's character.
True.
Who is just Bill Murray dressed as a zombie.
It's just Bill Murray doing Bill Murray things.
That's all. Just living in his house dressed as a zombie, so then he looks and sounds like a zombie, so then the other zombies won't come near him. And then they fucking shoot him in the chest.
Jesse Eisenberg shoots him in the fucking chest.
I'm sorry. But again, it's just famous actors just being in the movie to die. Like in Alien Covenant, they have James Franco be the captain of the ship.
Oh my god,
which
James Franco.
Yeah. Most people don't know about. Well, yeah, I believe I think it's Covenant, or it might be Prometheus.
I think it's Covenant, 'cause I think Prometheus has
Prometheus has
the dude from
Michael Fassbender.
No, Michael Fassbender's the android. He's there for like almost all those movies. Oh my god, what the fuck is his name?
What are you talking about then?
He was in, I think he's in 40-year-old version, I think. Oh my god, he was in Pineapple Express, I think.
Oh,
the dude with the curly ass hair, the kind of thick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't know his name. The thing is, with Alien Covenant, they have James Franco play the captain of the ship, right? But in the first scene of the movie, basically, where they show the ship,
Danny McBride, that's his name.
Danny McBride. They have the ship hits a solar flare. Yeah, solar flare. And it makes most of the sleep pods catch on fire, including James Franco's sleep pod.
like it just cuts to the scene of like the captain's pod failing, and you look at his face. It's fucking James Franco.
Well, even in that, you can barely tell because of all the fire that's surrounding him. So he's dead. They shoot him off into space, but then you see his wife mourning him, and it's just a video of James Franco on a cliff.
Exactly.
Oh my god! And then, like in The Hunt, that one political movie where people judged it too fast before even watching the movie because it made jokes about both sides perfectly, and
I mean,
it was just there.
It's political commentary and political comedy. People are going to judge it no matter what.
Well, that's the thing, though. Democrats were saying it was making fun of Democrats, and Republicans were saying it was making fun of Republicans. So neither of them were saying, "Oh my God, it's making fun about both of us." It's just saying, "Hey, they're really making fun of us." Is Republicans doing this, or the other side, and vice versa?
You know what it is? People love to be oppressed, so they can make a big deal about it.
And so they bring in one girl that was in Scream 4. And a lot of new horror movies.
A franchise they're rebooting, by the way.
Yeah, with Scream 5. I'm kind of excited. I hope Deputy Dewey appears more. Did you know he was Did you know he was in the WWE?
Really?
Yeah. I learned that recently. He was in the WWE.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. He was also in 12-Hour Shift most recently, where he just states, "I hate cops."
Don't we all, buddy?
It's kind of funny because he played a cop in the Scream movies.
True.
But they also had someone that was a soap opera actor on Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, all that other shit. Because all those soap operas are the same. They just don't have connecting storylines for the most part.
And it's just a lot of yelling and crying and drama, blah, blah.
I love it though because they'll turn around and then they'll say something, but the person they're talking about is 1 foot behind them, but they won't hear them.
Oh,
soap opera
magic. Soap opera magic.
But they killed the girl with a headshot just a headshot, like the first scene she's in, and then they kill the guy by making him step on a landmine. Like they just have famous actors and actresses just to purely kill them, so they give you red herrings about who the movie protagonist is supposed to be. Also, that's a fantastic movie. I implore everybody to go watch that because it's pure action and thriller. It just really, there's a lot of references, and they talk about Animal Farm at one point. They also talk about George Orwell. Lord of the Flies.
Because all that stuff has become increasingly, and might I add, very worryingly relevant over the past few years.
It's sad how relevant it's becoming.
It is very unfortunate how relevant it's becoming.
Because people are now...
No, go on.
So Animal Farm, for people that don't know, is about these animals on this farm being oppressed by their owners. And the owners are kind of mistreating these animals, and the pigs don't like it, which is the most oppressive thing. So the pigs...
Yeah, the farmer's an alcoholic.
Yeah, the farmer's an alcoholic. The pigs gather all the other animals to go in, and they murder the farmers. They murder.
It's not even that, because it forms. It's a commentary on Marxism, right? I think communism and shit.
Yeah.
But essentially, the whole crux about it is that the animals start to realize they're being mistreated, and everything sucks. Specifically, the pigs. So the pigs go in and are like, okay, so we're gonna start, taking things over a little bit and start trying to make things better. And now the other animals are just like, wait, why are you doing that? And the pigs are just like, because we're pigs and we're smarter than you. And it becomes a whole deal of okay, are the pigs actually doing something that's good for these animals, or are they just, a dictator in power, basically? And it just it keeps ramping up, and it's been forever since I've read the actual novel, but it's really, really good and really a classic.
Right, but in today's society, it's more because even in the movie that they made about it, they show that the pigs start to dress as their former owners and the farmers and everything.
That's fucking right. I forgot about that. The pigs start to dress up as the humans.
And it's so... And I don't want this podcast to become super political. We're not taking sides on anything. We really aren't. We're stating how we feel. We're not taking sides.
We do just be talking away.
It is very apparent that movie takes more place in today's society than it should be. people are complaining about the government. They're going to overthrow the government. The government's problem is this. They need to fix this. But the problem is people aren't realizing that when they say those things, they're becoming a government of their own, trying to create laws and rules that their current government won't put into place. So by changing a ruler or a leader or a president or congressman or anything to get different rules put into place and get their own rules put into place, they're becoming the people that they once complained about.
True.
They're fixing the problem by becoming the problem themselves.
And it's been awfully apparent as of late too, talking about stimmies and fucking minimum wage and shit.
Yes.
But they're like, yes, $2,000, yes, $15 minimum wage. Not the most we can get is like fucking a month or two of debate just to get $1,400.
Right,
might
and
not even see,
For people that want to say the stimulus checks, don't work, or the American, or that, or on the other side of it, saying that the American people don't deserve stimulus checks, they just need to get jobs or whatever. Fuck it, I don't understand either argument fully because neither of them have good points about why they should be right.
Let me remind you, not a single Republican voted for the American Rescue Plan because they thought everything is fine and that the economy is going okay.
What's the
wrong?
It's not
Mitch
Brazil.
McConnell, please choke.
Is it Brazil? No.
What are we speaking of?
The one, is it New Zealand? New Zealand was, I believe it was New Zealand. Yeah, they've been down to like no cases.
I think it is, yeah. I think they literally just like isolated themselves off and were like, nope, no one come, no one leave.
Well, now they don't have to wear masks or anything.
True.
They've been given money, stimulus checks every single month, like $600 or $800, something like that, or $2,000 a month to every person. Not just, oh, you're over the age of this, or you're over the age of this. Every person needed it.
Or you're this specific kind of person.
Right. And so New Zealand, as of yesterday, had one new case. One new case.
God, ain't that just a dream, isn't it?
You know what their 7-day average was?
What is that? Please enlighten me.
4 cases of COVID.
God, that's the dream. Holy shit.
You know how many deaths they've had of COVID?
Isn't it like still kind of a lot?
No. They've had 26 deaths.
Man, I think we could have had this shit handled.
In New Zealand, they had 2,417 total cases. And it's sad because what they did is they locked down.
Hard.
They had, it wasn't about freedoms or anything. It was about solving a problem that was there. And what ended up happening is that they almost completely eradicated COVID in their country. Because at the height of it, they only had like less than 100 cases, less than 90 cases at a time. They were all wearing masks. They were all forced to wear masks. They, had to take preventative cautions like 6 feet apart and everything like that. But they also didn't just go butt fucking crazy.
There were not anti-mask rioters in the streets in front of important buildings.
So what ended up happening is now they have concerts, they have parties, they have outings. No one has to wear masks. They've lifted all regulations because they followed a strict protocol. They still have, country pride and everything like that, but they followed a strict protocol.
And I think that could have been us. They had a fucking playbook. Literally. There is literally like an epidemic and pandemic playbook that the Obama administration left behind for the new administration. And they literally just tossed it out. They're like, nah, we're good. Thanks. And that, don't want to get political.
There's so many things that could have been done about COVID before
that man
before it
knew
happened.
about it. He knew before it reached major news. He was advised early about it and was told that it could be a problem. But he's like, no, everything's fine. I'm the best. It'll be okay. America's great. God, it pisses me off.
Shit sucks, dude. I wish COVID was not a thing because it kind of did ruin my senior year of high school.
Thanks for ruining my senior year in my first year of college. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Though, it's... As of recently, it's not really been affecting me as much.
I just don't go anywhere.
I really don't go many places. I go to like the same few places, and I stick to my small group. And I know, like, by small group, I mean work, my girlfriend, home.
Yeah.
And so I always wear my mask when I go out. I don't want to catch it because if I catch it, that's 2 weeks without my girlfriend, 2 weeks without work, 2 weeks where I'm just kind of feeling like, well, alone.
Yeah.
Isolated, away from everything. And I get it. It sucks. It's the worst thing for people that need that social thing. For me, I've got YouTube, the podcast, Overwatch, online communities. I get that. I've got all of that.
Conversation even. Yeah.
Right. But for most people, that's not a realistic possibility for them. And it's sad because now with this vaccine, some people don't want to get it, but they say that if over 75% of the population gets it, they can remove completely all regulations and mandates put in order. Because
you would develop a herd immunity.
Right. And the thing is, you have to get the vaccine for people that can't get the vaccine.
And you have to get both doses, too.
Because think about it, cancer patients can't get the vaccine. And so it's...
Low-income areas are not also...
Low-income, yeah. I mean, it's just sad because we still don't even know how long these vaccines will last. We know somewhat how effective they are. It's like less than a 0.3% chance that you can get COVID after you've had the vaccine. And if 2 people have the vaccine, they're now saying you can be in that room with them less than 6 feet and not wear a mask and you'll be fine.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be like the flu. Like it's hopefully like a yearly thing, or that they encourage it to be like a yearly, like twice a year, not a like every 2 year kind of thing,
But that's the thing. The vaccine itself, because like after you get the flu vaccine, it's not like you're down and out for a day.
Yeah.
With the COVID vaccine, there are so many reports of people that are down and out for the whole day or the next day as well. Where it's like you got hit with the entire 2 weeks worth of COVID within a day or two.
Well, yeah, because that's just simple medicine, because they have to literally give you some of it for you to develop an immunity to it.
Well, right, but that's the thing. It doesn't happen with the flu vaccine. So
every time I get a flu shot, I get sick as a dog.
I've gotten the flu shot every year, man, and I always get the strain of the flu that I don't have, like the vaccine for. I'm the unluckiest person when it comes to the flu. I always get the strands that I don't have the vaccine for, of course, but I don't ever feel down and out at all. I don't feel like, my head hurts or blah, blah, blah after I get the vaccine for like the flu shots.
Oh, I get so sick every time I get a flu shot.
But
I think it's kind of like a genetic thing too, because every time my mom's gotten the flu shot, she's always gotten super sick too. Sucks ass.
I just don't like feeling sick. Like
I don't really being sick. It's the worst feeling in the world.
And I know people are gonna be like, "Who likes feeling sick?" That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that I really only get affected by the flu. But when I do get a head cold, it's not enough for me to just stay in bed and not do anything. It's more of, hey, you're just gonna have an annoying ass headache and a cough for the next 3 days.
Oh, and I'm a fucking wimp when I'm sick. I'm such a baby.
Well, that's the thing. I was sick all the time as a child. I had so many times where I'd be sick and I'd still be sent to school. Like, I remember at one point I had the flu at this time, and I woke up and I was like, I am not feeling good. I was telling my parents, I'm like, hey, can I stay home from school? Like, my stomach hurts so bad. And they're like, oh, it's just butterflies, blah, blah, blah. It's school starting up. It's blah, blah. I was like, and they're like, drink this milk, which people that don't know, having the flu, do not drink milk.
Because it just adds to the bacteria, dude.
Milk is a heavy drink. Milk is a heavy, heavy liquid, and it does not sit on your stomach well. It curdles that shit. It's like the worst fucking thing. So I drank the milk, felt even worse. I get in my friend's van because we were going to school and his mom always picked me up. And I was like, hey, can I roll down the window? And fucking she's like, oh yeah, go ahead, of course. And I just
puked out the side of the car.
Not only did I puke on outside the car, I puked on the car itself.
Oh no!
It was I had just thrown my head out the window and I just vomited, and it was all over the road. It was a straight line for 30 feet because it was just dribbling everywhere, and it was on the side of the van as well. She's like, "Don't worry about that. I'll clean it off. I've got a hose in the backyard and everything." She's like, "Let's just get you home."
Oh my god!
So
I go home.
I go home and I just look at my parents and I go, "I told you I did not feel good." I just my stomach hurt so bad. I was in my bed for the next 16 hours without doing anything.
Oh my god!
When I get the flu, it is a multi-day. You are down and out. Everything is so much pain to do.
Yeah, that's me too. That's just
even
the worst.
Even being in pain is pain itself because you know it's coming, and so the preemptive pain starts to kick in. Also,
God,
I must say,
go on.
I'm unlucky when it comes to ACTs because I don't usually feel good before the ACT. So when I took a couple ACTs, eventually my body started being like, "You don't feel good," right before I had to go. And so I'd have the shits right before I had to sit down for a 4-hour test.
Yikes.
And in one ACT, I had a bloody nose. I finished the first 2 sections. I get a bloody nose. I'm holding a tissue to my nose, right? And it clots. I can't remove that tissue because if I remove it, the clot just will pour out onto my test, and it's not worth it anymore. So I finished the next 2 sections of the ACT with a bloody nose. Then another one that I actually had the flu while I was taking the ACT. So I was like, oh, I don't fucking know. I'm filling out all the answers. My head's so fucking foggy and cloudy. And I was just like, I cannot think straight, dude. I get in the car, I go home, and we test my temperature, and it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you should not have been
Take me to Walgreens. Right, takes me to Walgreens, and they're like, yeah, you have influenza B, bud. And I was like, well, fuck, dude.
You just gave everybody in that testing room
I felt so bad. I was like, I was just in the room with 7 to 20 people. I feel bad. I was coughing the whole time. I was sniffling the whole time. My nose was like a fucking train. Just I couldn't do shit.
So, all this to say, 1, fuck standardized testing. Shit sucks. 2, please wear a mask if you get sick after COVID's over. Just please normalize it, dude. We don't want none of that shit. Just better yet, just stay home.
Stay home is better. Stay home's better.
Learn your quarantine lesson from COVID for whenever you get the flu in the future. Just practice that for me.
I've thankfully never gotten COVID, and I'm knocking on wood.
Thank God. Knock on wood for that, baby.
Because I've had 6 COVID scares. One was really close to home, as in my home. My mom had COVID, and none of the rest of us did. Don't know how it happened. I was like, wow. I was just was thinking to myself, I was like, maybe I'm immune. Maybe I'm the vaccine, that's why I can't get it. And I was just fucking around. I was like, I don't understand. People pass each other on the, they'll talk to each other and shit like that, and they get COVID. Or they'll pass each other, they get COVID. I'm sitting at a dining room table with my entire family. None of us get COVID. Besides my mom.
Jeez.
Really, really weird shit. And well, my sister didn't get tested. My younger sister, so we don't fully know if she had it, but we think she might have had COVID because she had the same symptoms.
Oh gosh.
So, but they're fine. They're fine. My mom has asthma, so it kind of fucks with that, and she still has some lasting COVID effects from, it fucking with her asthma.
Right. That's very scary.
Which I didn't know that you could get diagnosed with adult onset asthma.
Yeah, that's a thing, man.
So we went to South Dakota, and while we were up there, my mom was having such a hard time breathing, and we all thought it was due to the elevation. And then we come back home, and Missouri is not very elevated, especially St. Charles, St. Louis, not very elevated. And she still was having breathing problems, so she tried mowing the lawn, and she almost went into the, or she either almost went into the ER or did go to the ER. And they're like, "You got asthma. You really should not be doing that."
Jesus.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
Weird shit, dude. Also, can we talk about how schools, like high schools, I don't know if yours did this, but
right. I remember my point. I remember the thing that I wanted to ask you. No, go on.
If we got sick, it was an excused absence, but still counted against our attendance.
Yeah, it was still an excuse. Like we had to bring a doctor's note for it to be excused.
Even then, it still counted against your attendance in my high school.
Yeah, no, we didn't have that. It was still like an excused absence, but I think it was still like an absence though for us too. It's stupid. Whatever. Perfect attendance is such a stupid thing.
Well, the thing is, I wanted perfect attendance, right?
God, you're a nerd.
No, I never left. I was always there in school because I was like, "There's no point in me skipping. I'll just be behind in like 8 classes." That was my biggest fear. I remember every time I got the flu, I was like, "I'm gonna be so behind in schoolwork," and I was every time.
That was the worst shit, especially like the beginning of senior year. I'm like, I can't fucking afford to be sick anymore.
Right.
I cannot afford this shit. I have to.
That was my motive for having perfect attendance, which I didn't have, of course. But all right, go on with your point, though.
Remember, we used to have 7 or 8 classes. What the fuck are they thinking? Anyway, I wanted to ask you what your SAT score was.
I never took the SAT.
What? That's needed for like colleges and shit.
No, not really. ACT is needed, but not SAT.
Okay, fine. What was your ACT score?
My highest one was a 25.
I think mine was like a 23. I think.
But if I were to take my highest parts of my test scores from like the 6 tests that I took, I would have like a 32.
Nice.
I each time I had a different score that boosted the rest up, and the one that I did best on previously was the worst score. So on one I had a 20 on the English, but I had a 32 or 33 on the science.
Nice.
And I was like, I don't get it. How am I getting, like, if they just were to take the best sections, I'd have so many different scholarships available to me, which I don't need them, of course, because of A+. But I'd have so many different scholarships available to me because they could just pull to my scores together, which still doesn't make sense to me because it's the best sections of it, so I understand the knowledge, but on average, it's not.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're testing you on knowledge either. They're testing you on just rote memory, which is stupid, I think.
Well, it's not even rote memory because half of my ACTs had stuff from calculus on it, and I stopped at algebra 3 in my high school. I never took calculus.
I took calc.
And some of the things where they were teaching in AP Physics, because one of my buddies took AP Physics instead of AP Chem like I did. He was like, yeah, that was in AP Physics. I go, we didn't learn that in regular physics. And he's like, yeah, we didn't. And I was like, so some of the information is not even pertainable to me.
Yeah,
I physically can't answer these questions with knowledge because I have to guess because I did not take those classes. I'm pretty sure that's very rigged against the system.
Oh, standardized tests are so fucking rigged. Are you serious? It's incredible.
I understand that having personalized tests to each person is fucking near impossible because of the amount of time it would take to assemble those tests and everything like that and then grade them because then you're biased, kind of. There's more options for bias in those tests.
Actually, you don't even have to do that, You could set up, well, I'm not saying that it'd be easy, but you could set up a test for different tracks, or like different presets of like class tracks, like, okay, right. So this is for like, this test could be for like a full IB kid. This test could be for like a kid who took like full AP classes, or this could be like a kid who took regular classes,
Well, the thing is, I took
a mix of all that shit.
I took a mix of those classes. I had only one AP class, and some were like rest were either honors or just regular classes. So I was kind of like a mix of all three.
I took a fuck ton of AP classes over my high school career.
AP classes don't really help.
Yeah.
They really don't.
No, I've only been able to skip one class here because of my AP credits.
I took Algebra 3, which was not an AP class, because my high school is weird, and they did this thing where they would flip-flop between Algebra 3, which was not technically worth college credit, is what they were telling us, and college algebra, which was worth college credit, and you had to take a AP test at the end of the year, right?
Right.
Well, here's me, and I take Algebra 3, and then next year, my senior year, I decided to take college algebra, because I was like, you know what, I can skip my math class. Well, I get the summer packet, which, fuck summer packets, no need for them. Teach me the shit.
Is unneeded.
Teach me the shit in class, not on my time. It's not my job to teach myself, it's your job. You're the teacher.
Guess what? I won't do it.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it for my AP Chem class, which I ended up finishing. And I didn't do it for my college algebra class, and I ended up dropping my college algebra class because I go, this is not worth it. I'll just fucking take it at my community college. Which, by the way, I did. And everything that was on the summer packet was taught to me through my college class.
Nice.
Everything. Like, we never went out of those ranges. And I go, damn. They were going to have me do all this shit in the middle of summer before my class. Yeah, and then basically just test me off.
Yeah.
Right. So my Algebra 3 class that they told us was not worth college credit ended up getting me out of the basic college algebra class. So I was, instead of taking the college algebra class for freshmen, I ended up taking the one for sophomores and juniors in college.
Nice.
I was like, damn, I guess I am pretty far ahead because I ended up. So, you know, when they would have you take the test in 8th or 7th grade or so?
Yeah, I remember that shit.
No, maybe it was 6th grade, because that's when the next year you would start pre-algebra, right? Yeah, 6th grade. Between 6th and 7th, they had you take a test to determine where you would fall for honors classes and classes, especially like math, where they go from pre-algebra all the way up to Calc 2 or some shit in high school.
Yeah, something.
I am a phenomenal multiple choice guesser. I'm really good with general knowledge, and with multiple choice, I can get like over 80% of all the questions right just on guessing alone.
Right.
And that's what really led me my ACT scores as well, for the most part. But I guessed completely on the math because I didn't know any of that shit. And I ended up being in pre-algebra in 7th grade because all my guesses gave me the right answers.
Wow.
Not all the right answers, of course, but enough to get me in. So 7th grade I took pre-algebra. 8th grade I took algebra 1. And that was worth high school credit. So I took geometry in my freshman year with sophomores in my class. You know, each year I was in a math class with the grade above me. You know, one of like the few people in each of the classes that were the year below. One year, like my sophomore year, all these freshmen were coming in complaining that the Algebra 1 credit that they took within 8th grade year was not counting towards their high school credit.
Wow.
My freshman year, I took AC Lab, which was Academic Intervention Lab or some shit like that. It was basically a free period for the entire like third block of the day or first block of the day, and all I did in that was sleep, and I got a credit for it. Yeah, but then the next year they changed it so you can no longer get credits for it, but if you took the class already and got a credit, that was your credit to take.
Nice.
So literally every time I took a class that was just kind of blow off or some shit like that, the next year they changed how it worked, because you know, my junior year there wasn't a lot of college algebra, but there was a lot of algebra 3, and then my senior year there was a lot of college algebra but no algebra 3.
Wow.
I was like, it's the same class, just a different name, and like you just teach at an accelerated rate. It's not worth it.
Yeah. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is all to say that high school sucks. You know, standardized testing sucks, and that is our time. for the day.
That is our time.
We hope that you have sincerely enjoyed our first episode here. If you do want to listen more, then please click that big old red subscribe button down below. Hit the bell, do all the regular YouTuber stuff that they tell you to do. But seriously, it would help us out. We would love to do this more. And if you want to engage with us in the comments, just start conversations and keeping it civil, of course, then please just do so. Let us know what you think.
We're going to try to do this week to week and see how many of these podcasts we can produce. I do not want it to be
without
a thing,
of course.
Right, without being burnt out or anything. I don't want it to be something where people just kind of click through and, which is fine. I don't care about that shit. But I don't want it to be something where you guys feel like it's the same shit we're talking about each and every time. So we're going to bring on guests. I believe maybe even for a second episode, we'll bring on a guest already. But we do want it to be a thing where you guys can interact with us. So if you leave comments, it's the best way for us to talk about new things on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Good night, good evening, whichever one. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Stay safe and healthy.